Hello dear students, I, Varinder Korsekho, extend you a very warm welcome to today's session. This session is a part of the series of lectures meant for the skill enhancement, and we are going to focus on one skill. So as I mentioned skills, let us first discuss the 4 skills of the language, and then we will move on to the particular session meant for today. So dear students, even before that, let's discuss what's the importance of these 4 skills from the point of view of your examination. Your examination carries 100 marks, out of which the written paper carries 80 marks and IA means internal assessment carries 20 marks. The splitting of 20 marks is as given. Listening skill carries 9 marks. Speaking skill carries 6 marks, pre-boards 3 marks, book bank 2 marks. The total comes out to be 20 marks. So dear students, today's session is for the enhancement of the skill, which is the basic skill of the language under this program IELTS, Interactive English Language Training for Students. So dear students, language is a means of communication. Language is taught and assessed in terms of the 4 skills. Now, which are these 4 skills? Listening, speaking, reading and writing. What these skills are, very much clear from the picture. And as I said, these sessions are meant for the skill enhancement, means we work on the 4 skills of the target language in this program. Out of these 4 skills, 2 are receptive and 2 are productive. Which are the receptive skills? Listening and reading. These are the receptive skills. And which are the productive skills? Speaking and writing. Why we call these as receptive skills? As you can read from the picture, because we receive input in these skills. Input comes from outside. We receive it. So these are receptive skills, and in speaking and writing we give the output, and this output is based on the input. There can be no output without any input. So dear students, this is the importance of all these 4 skills. All go hand in hand. You cannot focus on 1 or 2 skills and ignore the others. You have to practice all the 4 skills. For example, if you want to speak good English, you have to listen to good English. Without listening, you cannot speak. And similarly, if you want to write a paragraph or an essay or any answer, what do you need? You need the words for that. You need the grammar for that. You need the sentence structure for that. And where does it come from? It comes from listening to English and from reading English. So all these skills are interconnected, they are all dependent upon each other, and we must take all the skills simultaneously. Now let us again discuss the first skill. Today's session is for the first skill. So listening is the basic skill which leads to speaking. So listening and reading, come on quickly tell me, which type of skills are these? These are the, yes, receptive skills. And quickly, which are these 2 skills, speaking and writing? Yes, these 2 are the productive skills. Now this is the sequence, LSRW. Always remember this, LSRW. Listening, then speaking, then reading, and then writing. When a child is born, the child listens to the sounds around it. The child does not know what the meaning of these words are. The child just listens and speaks produce those sounds, and slowly and gradually the child starts speaking that language in which the family speaks. That is why we are easily able to speak in Punjabi, we are able to understand Punjabi, because we have been listening to it since birth. And the people who are born in foreign countries, in England, in America, they are able to listen and understand English and speak in English because they are exposed to that language. Now, if you also want to speak good English, if you want to write in good English, what should you do? Yes, you should first of all listen to good English. That is why we are here to discuss this skill, that is listening skill. I hope you are all listening carefully. Let's move on. What's the importance of listening skill in your real life, in your general life? From examination point of view, I've already discussed that it carries 9 marks in your English practical. But in your real life also, nature has made us in that way that we should listen more and speak less. That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So listen to English, read in English, the output will be, you will be able to speak in English. We can speak well only if we listen well. So listening is a receptive skill. When you listen to English, you not only listen to the words, you also listen to the correct pronunciation, the sound, the rhythm, the intonation, the stress of the language can only be learned through listening practice. You will understand all these terms in your lesson related to stress and intonation. A wrong stress completely changes the meaning of the sentence. So you will become accustomed to it if you listen to good English. The more a student listens to the target language, the more is he able to understand the nuances. Listening to English enables the learners to speak in English. So now you understand why listening skill is so important from your examination point of view and from your real life, general life point of view, because if you want to progress in life, you must learn to speak good English, you must learn to write good English. Here writing doesn't mean learning an answer and writing it. That is memorizing. Writing means when you are given a topic and you are able to write at least 1 paragraph on it. If you are able to write this, then that means you have developed your writing skills. So introspect yourself. Are you able to write a paragraph? Are you able to speak a few lines in English? If not, then that means we have to work towards enhancement of all these 4 skills. And the first one in that series is the listening skill. Now in your examination, you will be given a question paper and you will listen to an audio and attempt that question paper. So before that, you must remember some points which we have discussed earlier also. I'm going to repeat because these are very important. So keep these in mind whenever you are appearing in any listening test. So some tips for the listening test. When you are listening to an audio, listen for names, places, dates, mobile number, address, etc. and make notes on the question paper. Means any specific information, if it is given, do note it down. While listening, write answers on the question paper. So this is a multitasking process. 3 tasks you are doing simultaneously: listening, reading and writing. You will listen to an audio, you will read the question paper which I will show you on the screen, and you will write the answers. All these things will go side by side. It's not that you listen to an audio and when the audio finishes then you start writing the answers. No, that will be wrong. You have to write the answers as the audio moves. So you have to be very quick and very alert for that. Pay attention to the instructions and underline the keywords. Keywords will help you in finding the right answer. For example, no more than 3 words and or a number. This gives you a hint that this is the limit of the answer. If your answer exceeds the limit, you will not get marks for that. All words are counted. So pay attention to these instructions and listen to the instructions. In point number 3, the instructions are written in the question paper or on the screen. in point number 4, the instructions are in the audio itself. So listen very carefully. Before listening test starts, in that half minute, go through the questions quickly and underline the cue words so that you know what to listen for. The questions will prepare you for an answer. So always read questions very carefully before the audio starts. You won't get much time for that. You have to be very quick. So alertness and focus are the two key words for getting good marks in a listening test. Read the instructions carefully. If it is written, choose the correct letter A, B and C. Supposing options are given and you have to choose the correct option, then read the instructions carefully. If it says choose the correct letter, that means you will write the letter and not the answer. If you miss an answer, sometimes it happens. We are not able to understand the word, or due to any reason we miss an answer and we stop there and start thinking. Then what will happen? The audio will not stop. The audio will keep moving. Then what will be the result of that? You will lose the pace of the audio. So dear students, if you miss an answer, don't lose the pace of the speaker by thinking about it, or you will miss the next answers also. Come back to it later on. In the end, you will get some time. Then from the guesswork, you can write the answers. Don't leave blank spaces. Guess and write, as there is no negative marking. Sometimes from the context, we are able to get the word. So you can write any word from guesswork because there is no negative marking. But don't leave any blank spaces. So dear students, I hope you are all ready for the listening test. Ready? Okay. Quickly write down listening test 1 and numbering 1 to 10. It will save your time. Quickly write numbering 1 to 10. We are going to play an audio. I will show you the answers on the screen. You will read the questions very carefully and answer as you listen to the audio. Listening test. Lesson on saying please. You will listen to an audio and answer the questions as you listen. Before you listen to the audio, please read questions 1 to 5. Now listen to the audio and answer the questions.
Section 1. Alfred George Gardiner, author of On Saying Please, was an English journalist, editor and author. His essays, written under the alias Alpha of the Plough, are highly regarded. In On Saying Please by A.G. Gardiner, we have the theme of courtesy, civility, morality, responsibility and control. In the example of liftman, the liftman suffers only for his actions. He may have in fact changed the man's approach to him. Discourtesy is not a legal offense. By showing civility, the narrator argues that more is to be gained than if one is ill-mannered or ill-tempered towards another person. If anything the liftman has lost is his peace of mind and possibly his freedom. The narrator's example of the conductor is also interesting. He was full of patience. He kept his passengers comfortable. With elderly passengers, he was like a respectful son. With children, he was like a father. He cracked jokes with young persons. He took care of handicapped people. He was gentle and soft-spoken. This essay tells us about the value of good manners. But bad manners are not a legal crime. A man with bad manners is disliked by everybody. Words like please and thank you are small words, but these words can solve difficult problems. These words oil the machine of life.
This is the end of section 1. Please check your answers. Section 2. Before you listen to the audio, please read questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the audio. It's a dialogue between two or more number of speakers. Listen to the audio and answer the questions.
Hello sir, I am Kanika's mother.
Hello ma'am, welcome to the parent-teacher meeting.
Thank you sir.
Please have a seat.
Sure sir. Please tell me how my daughter Kanika is performing in her studies.
You can see she is good in English, well-mannered and disciplined, but she needs some improvement in mathematics.
Okay sir, I want to meet her mathematics teacher then.
For sure, you can meet her in the library.
What is the name of her mathematics teacher?
Her name is Miss Pranka.
Good morning Priyanka ma'am. I am here to discuss my daughter Kanika as I have come to know she is weak in mathematics.
Yes, she needs special attention as she is very careless and talkative. She does not do her homework regularly.
Okay ma'am, from today onwards I'll pay extra attention to make her regular. Thank you so much for guiding me.
This is the end of the listening test. You can check your answers. So dear students, this is the end of listening test 1. Quickly check your answers, then we'll discuss the answers just now. I hope you were able to do all the answers. So here are the answers. The first one is, the author of On Saying Please is A.G. Gardiner. We have the theme of courtesy, civility, morality, responsibility and self-control. Third is, discourtesy is not a legal offence. The bus conductor was full of patience. Words like please and thank you can solve difficult problems. Sixth option D, Kanikas, whose mother has come for the PTM. Kanikas. Kanika is good in English. Who teaches maths to Kanika? Priyanka. In which subject is Kanika performing low? Mathematics. What is the reason of Kanika's weakness in mathematics? Carelessness. So these are the answers to the listening test. Give yourself marks out of 10. Hope you were able to perform well. If you have not performed well, it's okay. Practice leads to perfection. Let's move on to listening test number 2. This is a poem from your syllabus, Father Returning Home. You will listen to the audio and write down the answers in your copy to fill in the blanks. Write no more than 2 words for each answer. So again write listening test 2, numbering 1 to 10 and listen to the audio. So here's the audio. My father travels on the late evening train, standing among silent commuters in the yellow light. Suburbs slide past his unseeing eyes. His shirt and pants are soggy, and his black raincoat stained with mud, and his bag stuffed with books is falling apart. His eyes, dimmed by age, fade homeward through the humid monsoon night. Now I can see him getting off the train, like a word dropped from a long sentence. He hurries across the length of the grey platform, crosses the railway line, enters the lane. His chappals are sticky with mud, but he hurries onward. Home again, I see him drinking weak tea, eating a stale chapati, reading a book. He goes into the toilet to contemplate man's estrangement from a man-made world. Coming out, he trembles at the sink, the cold water running over his brown hands. A few droplets cling to the graying hairs on his wrists. His sullen children have often refused to share jokes and secrets with him. He will now go to sleep, listening to the static on the radio, dreaming of his ancestors and grandchildren, thinking of nomads entering a subcontinent through a narrow pass. This is the end of listening test 2. You can check the blanks. If there is any blank, you can just have a look and try to recall and write the answers. So, ready to check the answers? Let's read. Read it with me and check your answers. My father travels on the late evening train. So, check your spellings also. Standing among silent commuters in the yellow light. Suburbs slide past his unseeing eyes. His shirt and pants are soggy, and his black raincoat stained with mud, and his bag stuffed with books is falling apart. His eyes dimmed by age. Do check the spellings, beta. Dimmed by age. Fade homeward through the humid monsoon night. Now I can see him getting off the train, like a word dropped from a long sentence. He hurries across the length of the grey platform, crosses the railway line, enters the lane. His chappals are sticky with mud, but he hurries onward. Home again, I see him drinking weak tea, eating a stale chapati, reading a book. He goes into the toilet to contemplate man's estrangement from a man-made world. Coming out, he trembles at the sink, the cold water running over his brown hands. A few droplets cling to the graying hairs on his wrists. His sullen children have often refused to share jokes and secrets with him. He will now go to sleep, listening to the static on the radio, dreaming of his ancestors and grandchildren, thinking of nomads entering a subcontinent through a narrow pass. So, dear students, now give yourself 1 mark for each correct answer and total marks out of 10. Hope you were able to score well. If you have not been able to score well, let's analyze what is the reason why you were not able to score well. Here are the reasons. Find out your reason for your poor performance in the listening skill. The first one, lack of exposure to listening in English. As I said in the beginning of the session, unless and until you listen to good English, you will not be able to speak good English, and you will not be able to perform well in the listening test because your ears are not attuned to listening to English. If you have not listened to a particular word earlier, you will not be able to either catch it or write it because you don't know the spellings also. So, exposure to listening as well as exposure to vocabulary, both are very important. So, that is the second point, lack of good vocabulary. For example, in today's test, there was a word suburbs. If you have not heard about this word earlier, you will not be able to catch that word or write that word. So, vocabulary is very important to perform well in all the 4 skills, all the listening skill, speaking skill, writing skill. And from where will you get this vocabulary? From the 4th skill, that is the reading skill. So, reading is important for all the other 3 skills. And the third point is lack of interest. If you are not interested in doing any particular work, I'm not talking only about the listening skills. It's about any kind of skill. If you are not interested in doing it, you will never do well in that. So build an interest, because all of you want to be successful in life. And for being successful in life, you must master this skill. Master not only this skill, master all the 4 skills of English. Then next point, which is very prevalent in most of the classes, is interruptions and noise. It can be within the classroom, it can be outside the classroom. Whenever there is an interruption, you are distracted and you lose the pace of the audio, and it's very difficult to catch up again. So pin drop silence, complete attention, complete focus is very important. Anxiety, some students get stressed up कि oh मेरा कोई answer miss ना हो जाए. They often think that, and what happens? They actually miss the answers. So don't get stressed up. Relax, deep breathe, and just move with the pace of the audio. Lack of practice. That's why we deliver these lectures here. But are these sufficient? 3 or 4 lectures in one session is not enough practice. You have to do this practice in your regular classrooms also and at home also. All the audios, all the question papers are uploaded on Educare app. You can practice anytime, anywhere. So practice is very important, and a negative attitude will not lead you anywhere. So have that positive state of mind, a positive attitude towards what you are doing. Now, how to improve your listening skills? We have to find a solution to all these problems that we have just discussed. When you are actually appearing in the test, what you have to keep in mind? Stop talking. Very, very important, and I think very difficult for all of you, isn't it? Stop talking and be silent. There should not be any noise in the class, only the voice of the audio or the one who is delivering the lecture. Your complete attention is required. And take down notes in your rough copy. Any important point when it is given or when the audio is moving, write down all the important information required. Avoid or eliminate distraction. Distraction can be any person talking in the class. Distraction can be your mental also. You are present in the class, but your thoughts are somewhere else. This is also distraction. So I am repeating this point. Complete focus, complete attention is very, very significant. And these are the general points, the answers to all the problems discussed earlier. How to improve your listening comprehension, how to create that positive bent of mind, that positive attitude in yourself. Believe in yourself that I can do it. Just forget this point that English is difficult, I cannot do it. Yes, you can do it. English is not difficult. It just requires regular practice. That's all. You do it and I promise you, you will be able to master it. Train your ears by listening to news in English, listening to audios in English, listening to your teachers when they are speaking in English. Train your ears, and this is your practice. Read newspapers. As I said, without vocabulary, only listening is not going to help you. And how to improve your vocabulary? In addition to reading your books, which has lots of words given in your glossary, you can practice the pronunciation of those words. You have been given dictionaries. Go through the words, understand the word, and just knowing the meaning of any word is not going to improve your vocabulary unless and until you use that word in sentences, you use that word in speaking. You will not make these words your friends. Just reading the meaning and writing the meaning in your copy never increases the vocabulary. Vocabulary means the active vocabulary. Active vocabulary is the words which you use. So try to improve your vocabulary, read storybooks, read newspapers, whatever you feel interested in, but do read at least one page every day. Practice, Listen to any word or a sentence when you are listening to. No need to understand the complete news. If you are not able to understand, focus on a few words. Focus on how the news reader utters that word, that articulation, how the sound is produced. Lip reading, do the lip reading, how the sound is produced. Try to repeat it. Try to practice it. Understand it? Stand before a mirror and try to make the same sound as the news reader or whosoever is speaking. Try to copy, imitate, copy. That is the mantra. So practice, practice and practice. This is the ultimate mantra for mastering any skill. So with this parting advice and with lots of blessings for all of you, that you are going to follow my advice and you are actually going to improve your English, I take your leave. Thank you so much for attending the session, and for any queries, for any kind of question, if you want to ask me, you can call me in the number already shared with you people. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Keep studying and keep growing in life.